Hey everyone, Jeb from Better Track here. Today is the first in our series of videos about the interview. Now, the interview is never a comfortable thing for anyone to do. As many years as I've had jobs, I've never got used to doing an interview and always been worried beforehand. But what we're going to talk about today is things that you can do to get yourself ready for an interview and try and make things a little calmer for you and make you appear a lot more confident in your interview. First things first, it's what you wear. Now, when you go into an interview, true, you can go into an interview wearing anything that you want. Jeans, a hoodie, tennis shoes, and you may get the job. I'm not saying that you won't. But what we're going to talk about is what to pick to wear to make you feel comfortable, confident, and not leave any chance that you're not going to get the job. So the first thing you're going to want to do is really study the place that you're applying at. They always say to dress up for an interview, but in this case, what we're talking about when we say dress up for an interview is that you should always dress just a little better than what the normal employees wear on a day-to-day basis. So if you go into, say, a Safeway or grocery store, a lot of times they're wearing slacks and a button-up t-shirt. When you go in for the interview, you're going to want to wear at a minimum that exact same outfit. Now, when you go into, let's say, a McDonald's, they tend to wear polo shirts and slacks along with that. So polo shirt and slacks are good for that as well. What you do by putting on that outfit that's just one tick better than what they would normally wear during the day is that you show that manager that you understand, you've done your research, and you know what's going to be expected of you when it comes to professional wear during the day. The other thing it's going to do for you subconsciously, when you look good and you feel good, that comes across in an interview. So preparing ahead of time, knowing what you want to wear, having it laid out the night before so that you're ready to go when that interview starts is a very important piece to the interview. The other thing that you want to do, and what we highly recommend doing, is showing up early for the interview. If you have a 3 p.m. interview that you need to get to, we highly recommend you get there 2:30 at the latest. What that does is it shows the person that's hiring that you are very interested in this job. You've shown up early, you're ready to go, and that this means a lot to you to be there. Now, if you were to show up exactly at 3 o'clock, what happens if you show up and it's the wrong building? What happens if you show up and this isn't the right room or the right floor you're supposed to be on? What if you show up at 3 o'clock in the parking lot, but it takes 10 minutes to get through security, or it takes 5 minutes to park your car or find a place to sit down and wait? You're late at that point, and that kind of sets the tone for what you are like to that manager for the rest of the interview. The other thing it does is that a lot of times when we show up just right when we're supposed to be at a place, we can come in very hurried. And that tends to make our interview very hurried. We're not relaxed. We're trying to rush through this. We feel a little embarrassed that we weren't there on time. Another subconscious thing that showing up early does for you is that realistically you can get there and feel comfortable in your environment. This is a lot of times going to be a new place. It might be the McDonald's that you've gone into 40 times, but it's still different this time. This time there's going to be somebody asking you questions. This time there's going to be somebody that's watching you talk to this manager or hiring person. Being comfortable in your environment also comes through when you do an interview. So get there early, wear your best clothes. And the last bit of recommendation that we have for you, make sure that you've studied up on some common questions that get asked. The last thing that you want to do in an interview, which is what we'll talk about in our next session, is you don't want to pause a lot in an interview. If you've done your homework and you've looked at interview questions that commonly get asked and you have your answers prepared, it comes across a lot better when we actually go to do an interview. Now, there's other techniques that we can use. Some of them work for people, some of them don't. But we'll talk about that when we call you in person. And we'll go over more things that you need to have ready with you when you go into your first interview.